Welcome to the Lee School Committee meeting. It is Tuesday, November 12th, 2024 at 5 o'clock. We are in the Lee Middle and High School Library. We are continuing to be in a virtual meeting room for Governor Baker's orders suspending certain provisions of the Open Meeting Law, General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 20. This meeting will take place in a hybrid fashion, both virtually via Zoom, in person for those committee members and attendees choosing to access in either manner. I'm calling this meeting to order pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 20. I'm hereby informing all attendees that a video and audio recording is being made of the meeting. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
That we don't have any elementary school kids. All right, the mission statement of Lee Public Schools is to ensure students have the opportunities to develop the social, civil, and critical thinking skills to thrive in an ever-changing world. Fred, can you do a roll call for us?
Mr. Aubin is absent. Ms. Cooper? Here. Ms. Kashur? Here. Mr. Langlaw?
Here.
Ms. Larman?
Here.
Mr. Nichols?
Technical difficulties. We'll be on momentarily.
And Ms. Strickler?
Here.
First up is the approval of the October 8th, 2024 Lee School Committee meeting minutes. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the October board and school committee meeting minutes as written.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
I just had a note that under public input, I don't know if we were able to find the last name for the person named Amanda, but I think it would be great to include that in the minutes if we have it.
Any other discussion? Brenda, can you roll call us?
Ms. Cooper?
Yes.
Ms. Kashur?
Abstain.
Oh, should I abstain? I don't know. That's what I do.
You can vote either in favor or against, as long as what you've read, you believe accurately reflects.
Oh, okay. I'll say yes. I'm keeping it yes. I read it.
Mr. Langlaw?
Yes.
Ms. Larman?
Yes.
Mr. Nichols?
Yes.
Ms. Strickler?
Yes.
All right. Next up, we have public input with Nicole Fisher.
Yep, sure do. Public input. Residents of Lee are invited to address the committee regarding items on this evening's agenda at this time. Issues raised will normally be referred to the administration or subcommittee of the school committee. Looks like we have none.
Anybody online?
We have two members of the public, but no indication provided that they wish to speak.
Okay. Next up, we have Sophia Fenton as our student representative.
In terms of clubs, the GSA is continuing their work on their middle school outreach. They have been selling from the snack cart for the past month, and they have just finished that. So they handed it over to the robotics club, who has now been selling snacks after school. Robotics is using the money to purchase materials to continue constructing their robot that they have been working on. Social Justice recently had an assembly for the high school where they talked about the importance of voting and defined some key terms or like words that some people might not know that are used very often in terms of the election. Student Council is working on organizing activities and a lunch for the day before Thanksgiving break. The details are still being finalized, but we are very close to being done. For sports, many fall sports are coming to a close. Cross country had their last race on Saturday, and volleyball and football both had their last games on Friday. Football won their game and they will be moving on in the state tournament. The junior class is going to begin selling cash calendars soon as a class fundraiser. And the seniors class fundraiser, pies from a few weeks ago came in today and their pies were delivered. The Shakespeare play Cymbeline is going to be performed this upcoming Friday and Saturday on November 15th and 16th at 7 p.m. in the school's auditorium. And then next week, they have a performance on Saturday, November 23rd, and that will be at the Tiana Packer Playhouse at 6:15 p.m. And that's it for me.
Fantastic. Does anybody have any questions for Sophia? Thank you, Sophia. You don't have to. Go do your homework. All right, next up, we have our superintendent's update. Mike Richard.
Thank you very much. There we go. Quick update, enrollment, excuse me, we're at 643 students, so.
Didn't load again.
Oh. The same issue as last time. Why is it doing that?
I don't know,
It worked in the last meeting.
Mhm.
I'm gonna stop and try again. Maybe I was too quick.
Yeah, the first second.
Mhm.
See if I go full screen, please work.
It wasn't full screen last time you presented it.
Yeah, I apologize. I'm not sure what the issue was because, we'll have to investigate. So I apologize to the committee and to the community, who are watching. We will straighten out this technology. We have 643, students, enrolled in 2 schools right now. That's great news. We have 5 students who are outplaced. We're tuitioning in 55 students and, choicing in 167. So, as we start thinking about next year, we want to see those numbers continue to increase, and hopefully they will do that. LES and LMHS data, I shared with the school committee a document that followed a meeting that we had with the curriculum subcommittee to look at data and sort of synthesize and summarize what it is that we talked about. I hope that was met with your approval. If you have any questions from those data, please be encouraged to send them my way and or Principal Brigetti's way so we can get you an answer, both individually and as a committee. I think the work that was done during that subcommittee meeting was good work, and I think that the continued data analysis is also positive. Ballot question 2. For relative to MCAS and it being a graduation requirement. So that ballot question passed. I shared a link with frequently asked questions that was sent out by the commissioner's office in my newsletter last Friday. MCAS, this doesn't eliminate MCAS. I think everybody at this table knows that, but I want to make sure that people at home know that as well. It simply eliminates it as a graduation requirement. I did reach out to the district's attorney to see whether he could offer an opinion as to whether that graduation requirement being lifted would be retroactive to prior years. He indicated that he does not read the law that way, but that he suggests that we await guidance from DESE. And DESE has been pretty clear that there are still unanswered questions that they need to come up with and find answers to, I'm sorry, in the coming days, weeks, months. So we'll wait and we will make sure to keep the community informed if that is a possibility at all. But the big thing for us as educators is to make sure that we continue to encourage our students to give the test their every effort. It's still part of accountability. So it still will matter for us as a school district how we are viewed by the state and how our performance rates relative to neighboring communities and cities and towns across the Commonwealth. So we need to encourage students to be in attendance and to give the test the seriousness that it deserves for those students who are in grade 10 or in a retake status for a competency determination. They no longer will be required to pass in order to receive a diploma. this will continue to be a regular update from me as we learn more information. Quick budget and planning update. I got a lot of data piling up on my desk and on whiteboards in my office about enrollment, class sizes. I think some decisions will need to be made in the coming months about staffing for school year 25-26. That involves, among other things, whether to pursue full-day pre-kindergarten for 4-year-olds, whether to have 2 sections of kindergarten again or plan for 2 sections again. We need to make those decisions more earlier than later. Currently, there are 2 sections of grade 1, or will we only need, 2 sections of grade 1 next year because there are 33 students in kindergarten. So right now, my recommendation would be that we only plan for 2 sections next year. There are trickle-down implications for that, especially around specialist schedules and how they service students and how faculty will get their needed prep times. So there's a lot in motion. I'm exploring scheduling with DM group, that's a district management group. They specialize in scheduling both at the elementary and secondary level. And I'm looking to them to help me to come up with a plan, not just for next year, but moving forward for Lee Elementary School with lots of moving parts. So there's a lot of work that needs to be done. I will continue to keep the committee posted, working with the curriculum subcommittee and the finance subcommittee as appropriate, so we can plan accordingly for a great budget for next year. The facilities subcommittee met last week to discuss capital projects. We're joined by Town Manager Chris Britton. Projects that are on our radar and that will need attention in the not too distant future are the state of our tennis courts here at the middle and high school, the asphalt across campus, so that's the parking lots, 23 Chief Russo Way, and the roofs at both schools. In a interesting development, if you would, we had a visit today from a representative from STV, a consulting firm working with Massachusetts School Building Authority, to review our building plans, to review the status of our buildings. They went room by room, how each classroom is being used, what the status of our windows are, our doors, our entryways, our roofs. They do this on a random basis. Principal Briganti indicates this is the second time that they've visited here in my years as an administrator. It's my first time going through this. The gentleman was very kind. He spent what originally was planned to be 2 days. He was able to manage to get done in 1 day here. We do have a couple of outstanding questions that we need answered for him, including how many acres of school property there are. We've since learned since he left that there are 105 acres of school property. So we'll get that information back to him. Principal search update for Lee Elementary School. So several candidates applied and were screened and interviewed by the search committee. Based on the feedback from the search committee, no successful candidate was identified. At this point, my recommendation to the school committee is for us to maintain our current plan with me filling both roles and to post the position as a full-time position in late February or early March at a time when most administrative positions will be posted and be able to seek qualified candidates with time for a successful transition plan and to post the position in as many and in as creative ways as we can to try to lure attractive candidates to step in and fill that role for on a long-term basis. I want to thank everybody who was part of that search process because I think that the discussions that were had were good. I think the timing of the posting made it difficult for us to find a candidate. And then later this month, we've got a couple of meetings that are coming up. Strategic planning and negotiations is ongoing with lots of our bargaining units, and Thanksgiving break is rapidly coming upon us in a very short month of November. And that's all that I had for you under my report from the superintendent's office.
Does anybody have questions for Mike as the superintendent? All right, why don't you just roll right
I'll
in?
just roll right in. LAS Update Veterans Day Assembly last Thursday, and while I wasn't able to attend, it was an outstanding assembly from all the feedback that I've received. So thank you to those people at the elementary school who took the time to organize that annual event. And thank you to the likes of, I think, Mr. Nichols for attending that event. It's a successful event every year. And I'm very, very happy about the way it went from everything that I've heard. There's a food drive that's been going on at the elementary school. It ends tomorrow. Student council is still accepting donations. So if anybody's got some non-perishable items that they'd like to drop off to LES, please do so by the end of the school day tomorrow. Also at that Veterans Day Assembly, something that that we started this year is I've talked about the goats in our district, and those people who are really game changers. They're educators, they're advocates, they're teachers. They're going above and beyond. And we had a student goat who was named or voted on by the faculty, and that was Parker Stanton. Parker's a grade 6 student, and he has gone above and beyond, done a remarkable job working with Paula Duhan on her composting efforts, really being a stand-up 6th grade student, and being everything that we want Wildcats to be. So congratulations to Parker. The other nominees, and there were other students who were nominated in all, like a lot of different grade levels. It's awesome. Lucas Brunner as a kindergarten student nominated as going above and beyond. Raquel Texador in grade 6, Layla Dean in grade 1, and Blake Bessie in grade 6. So, you know, lots of great things happening among our students, and our faculty are trying their best to recognize those students. Our last thing is this Thursday, and you're all welcome to join us. It's a walk to school event. We will leave the town green at 7:50 to head up to the LES, and it is our annual Ruby Bridges Walk in recognition of the advocacy efforts of Ruby Bridges to break down segregation barriers. So that's in a nutshell. I try to be as concise as I can with you. That's all I've got for you.
Does anybody have any questions for Principal O'Shea? Okay,
Next up, Greg Briganti from Lehman High School.
Thank you. On October 16th, the student body had an updated Alice intruder training led by Officer Hopkins and myself. It went very well and was followed up with our second lockdown drill of the year. I want to congratulate the 15 new members of the National Honor Society who were inducted on October 16th. Joseph Abderhalden, Jack Bowden, Mia Cashman, Sam Cashman, Knox Colello, Jacob Cooper, Hunter Fosby, Isabella Hall, Natalie Hall, Carolyn Hopkins, Sam Cordy, Madeline Kotek, Connor Lewis, Adam Pincelli, and Emma Ranzoni. Congratulations to them for the honor, as well as for all the hard work that went into earning that honor. A couple days later, Dusty announced the recipients of the 2025 John and Abigail Adams Scholarship, which is based upon performance on the 10th grade MCAS test. Congratulations go to Justice Chichester, Reese Fagioni, Megan Fountain, Annie Herman, Alex Hochter, Ava Lopez, Kelly Molino, Valerie Molino, Tess Olander, Mia Polari, Sophia Putton, Delaney Reed, and Lillian Reynolds. PSAT and SAT testing were held in school during the week of October 22nd. This was the first year of fully online testing for the PSATs and SATs. The College Board is also moving most AP tests to online format this coming spring. On October 24th, 5 middle school students attended the New England League of Middle School Student Leadership Conference at AIC. I can't wait to see how these students implement what they learned at the conference here at LMHS. We had a successful middle school field trip to Beartown State Forest on Friday the 25th, and also that day, our full school fall pep rally was held that afternoon with a very successful homecoming dance for high school students on Saturday the 26th. On Halloween Day, our advisories all decorated their classroom doors to a theme and dressed up to match, and the younger elementary students from LES and St. Mary's came over for a very quick walkthrough. It was a very positive experience, and both the younger and older students enjoyed that day. The faculty is currently discussing possible handbook language on the topic of AI, after recent court cases have held that generic plagiarism language may not be sufficient enough for this topic. We hope to have a proposal for the committee soon. We're in the process, as Mr. Richard stated, of finishing up what is likely to be our final round of MCAS retakes. Tomorrow will be the final day for those. Fall sports is wrapping up, and this Friday football will play at West Boylston at 7 p.m. for the round of 8 game. Winter sports will begin after Thanksgiving. Hopefully football will still be going on at the same time. We'll see. The interim grade report that will be issued on Friday, November 29th will be used to determine initial eligibility for winter sports and activities. And as Sophia had said, this weekend is the local portion of the Shakespeare play, Friday and Saturday evenings at 7, and then Saturday the 23rd at Shakespeare and Company at 6:15. And since it will happen before the next committee meeting, the LMHS Winter Concert will be held on Thursday, December 5th at 7 with free admission to the concert. And that's all I have for you.
Any questions for Greg? All right. Unfortunately, Jen Norton is unavailable this evening, and I believe Jeff is also unavailable, correct? Okay. So moving on, next up, we have our Finance Committee. That'd be you, Kirk.
Yep. So we met a little while ago, earlier tonight, and we talked about a couple things. But first of all, we did our warrants. So first up was the accounts payable. Mr. Jesner.
So we've had 3 accounts payable warrants since our last meeting. The first was on October 9th for $126,855.75. The top vendors were Due4, Eversource, and Vista. The second warrant was on October 23rd, in the amount of $123,420.85, and the top vendors were Branches, Gateway Regional School District, and Hillcrest. And the last warrant was November 6th in the amount of $117,858.28, and the top vendors were Due4, Eversource, and Lennox Public Schools. The total amount for the 3 warrants is $368,134.88.
And the committee did vote to approve this warrant.
Thank you. All right, I will entertain a motion for the accounts payable.
Make a motion to approve accounts payable in the total amount of $368,134.88.
Do I have a second?
I second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Brenda, can you roll call us?
Ms. Cooper? Yes. Ms. Fisher?
Yes.
Mr. Langwell?
Yes.
Ms. Larmen?
Yes.
Mr. Nichols?
Yes.
Ms. Strickler?
Yes.
All right. And then we discussed payroll. Sticker shock here is pretty big, but we have to keep in mind that this is also the month in which stipends are handed out to staff. So we see this increase around this time every year. Mr. Jesner.
In addition, there was also a third warrant. So the total amount is $1,010,086.31.
Just corrections. Oh yeah, never mind. Sorry. Continue. Never mind. Retract it.
It's a great time for you to make a motion, Craig.
I would make a motion to approve the payroll warrant for a total of $1,010,086.31.
Do you have a second?
I second.
Be quicker. Any discussion? Go ahead.
Is that Nicole that second?
Yes.
Sure was.
Ms. Cooper?
Yes.
Ms. Fisher?
Yes.
Mr. Langwell?
Yes.
Ms. Larmen?
Yes.
Mr. Nichols?
Yes.
And Ms. Strickler?
Yes.
And then we also discussed full day pre-K. I know it's kind of
Kirk, I think you want to rethink your answer on that.
Oh, yep, sorry, abstain, my bad. Yeah, yeah. Can I change my answer to abstain, please?
You sure can. Thanks for noticing.
Yeah, thanks for telling me.
My job.
Yeah.
It was
Whoops.
Mike, really. We can't even claim that one. All right.
Thanks,
next
guys, I
up-
appreciate you. Oh,
next
yeah,
up-
we discussed full day pre-K as well. We talked about potential budget implications, and transitioning maybe away from a free tuition to a paid tuition model. And we didn't take a vote on the action, but we did kind of generally voice our approval for the superintendent from the finance subcommittee standpoint, for the superintendent to go ahead and continue to explore this option for the school. That's it. Oh, that's right. Oh, no, that's not it. Because we also had to create a revolving account. That was we had to create a revolving account for unified sports. So we took a vote and approved a revolving account for unified sports because we received a donation check from Special Olympics for $500.
So Madam Chair, I think you need to ask for a motion to accept the donation.
I did have it listed under new business. I just want to know that, I want you to know that I was organized on that one, but okay. Would anybody like to make a motion to accept the donation for unified sports?
I will. I'll make a motion to approve to accept the donation for Unified Sports.
I'll
Second.
second.
Any discussion?
Who can I only because I'm part of it. Then how does that happen? Like is that Keith? Who,
Special Olympics made the donation.
right, and then who controls it?
Well, it'll go in,
It'll-
if you establish a
Like-
separate revolving account, it'll go into that revolving.
Oh, okay, so like if they established a booster,
Mhm.
that would be part of it?
Well,
Like,
boosters have to maintain their own
okay,
funds.
okay, so I guess
Separate
I'm
from the district.
okay,
Boosters maintain their accounts outside of the district. So this could be, however, any needs that the team may have
okay.
moving forward, this would be, to be accessible.
Any other discussion? Can you roll call us, Brenda?
Ms. Cooper,
Yes.
Ms. Kashir,
Yes.
Mr. Langwa,
Yes.
Ms. Larmen,
Yes.
Mr. Nichols,
Yes.
Ms. Strickler.
Yes.
And then the other thing that we did in the finance committee is we made a motion to approve setting up a revolving account for unified sports. So we just need to have that approved by the school committee. So make a motion. No, that was to
We
accept the
accept the
donation.
donation.
And then we have to have
Oh,
an account to
okay.
put it in.
Okay, make a motion to create a account for revolving account for Unified Sports.
Thank you.
I second.
Any discussion? Brian, can you roll call us?
Ms. Cooper.
Yes.
Ms. Kashir,
Yes.
Mr. Langwa,
Yes.
Ms. Larmen,
Yes.
Mr. Nichols,
Yes.
Ms. Strickler.
Yes.
All right, next up, we have our policy subcommittee with some documents.
So policy met last month, and we had an in-depth discussion around our revolving improvements of all of our documents. The lists before us for approval tonight are our safety program, first aid, emergency plan, emergency closings, the removal of our face covering, policy, buildings and grounds management, buildings and ground security, security cameras in schools, walkers and riders, school bus safety program, and students' conduct on school buses. So the committee as a whole made the recommendation to update all the language as presented, as well as the recommended removing of our face covering policy. I will entertain a motion to waive the second reading.
I'll make a motion to waive the second reading.
I second.
Any discussion? Brian, can you roll call us?
Ms. Cooper?
Yes.
Ms. Keshar?
Yes.
Mr. Langwa?
Yes.
Ms. Larmen?
Yes.
Mr. Nichols?
Yes.
Ms. Strickler?
Yes.
Then I would like to make a motion to approve these as a consent agenda item, as a whole.
Do we have a second?
I second.
Any discussion? Brenda, can you roll call us again?
Ms. Cooper?
Yes.
Ms. Keshar?
Yes.
Mr. Langwa?
Yes.
Ms. Larmen?
Yep.
Mr. Nichols?
Yes.
Strickler?
Yes.
Thank you for that. And thank you to the policy committee for undertaking that huge undertaking.
That's another great committee. I really got them.
Yes. All right, old business, we have none. New business, Farmington River Regional School District and Terringham tuition agreement documents.
So I don't think there's anything for the committee to vote on at this point. The finance subcommittee did take a look at options that were made available about the updating of tuition agreements with both Farmington River and Terringham, both of which are due to expire at the end of this school year. Our task that's been moved forward to us from the finance subcommittee is to draft agreements for Farmington River and Terringham and present them to their school committees for approval. It would be based on CPI from the January 2025 assessment for the Northeast District for CPI. So Mr. Jesner and I will put those together, prepare them, share them with those respective school committees for their review, hopefully approval. That will come back to the Lee School Committee for your counter signature if they're approved.
Any questions about that? Good. Moving on, Washington DC trip, April of 2026. I'm assuming this is you.
Mr. Hall from our Social Studies Department is hoping to sponsor a trip to Washington DC for students during April vacation 2026. So you have before you the proposed itinerary for that, with the total cost being estimated at around $1,300 for students for 3 overnight stays in DC, 3 nights in DC. Looks like a pretty nice actual, a lot packed into, 4 days, 3 nights. But they would like to start signing up people now so that the monthly payments are as small as possible for folks. I would ask if you are so inclined to approve this, that you require, as has been our practice, cancellation insurance, cancel for any reason insurance be taken out as well.
Okay.
We learned our lesson during
Yeah.
COVID.
Would anybody like to make a motion to approve the DC trip, including insurance? Cancellation.
I'll make a motion to approve the Washington DC trip in April 2026, including cancellation trip insurance.
Do we have a second?
I second.
Any further discussion?
Just a
Yeah, I
quick question. Oh,
Curious. I was just wondering what grades, just high school, 9 to 12, or 9 to 12?
Yeah.
Sounds great. That's all.
Go ahead.
And quick question, do we have scholarships available for this, or is there opportunity so that all students could attend?
They do try, part of the reason for starting so early not only is to keep the monthly payments low, but they will try to do fundraising to offset as much of the cost as possible as well. But we don't have any scholarships available.
Any other questions? All right, Brenda, can you roll call us?
Ms. Cooper?
Yes.
Ms. Keshar?
Yes.
Mr. Langwa?
Yes.
Ms. Larmen?
Yes.
Mr. Nichols?
Yes.
Ms. Strickler?
Yes.
Before we move on to future business, Betsy, I just wanted to send the condolences from the school committee on the passing of your dad. I'm so sorry to hear that. Our thoughts are with you.
Thank you.
Future business, our next meeting is in December on the 10th at 5 o'clock. Hope everybody will be here. And last but not least, I will entertain a motion for adjournment.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Any discussion? Brenda, can you roll call us out?
Ms. Cooper,
Yes.
Ms. Kosher,
Yes.
Mr. Langwell,
Yes.
Ms. Larmen,
Yes.
Mr. Nichols,
Yes.
and Ms. Strickler.
Yes.
We are adjourned at 5:36.